Today on Ian vs. Daddybones, we're wrapping up the year and talking about this fucking thing.
Oh boy, kids, we're gonna have fun today.
Yay! Hey! Alright!
How is everyone doing tonight?
Welcome back, jerks. It's episode 10 of Ian vs. Daddybones. I want to welcome everybody to the show. I want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope you all were safe, healthy, and enjoyed your holiday yesterday, because for today, it is the day after Christmas. And today we are going to be looking back and reviewing my 2022, starting with January of this year and ending with this episode where we are at right now with Ian vs. Daddybones. Before we get started, I want to say what up and give a special high five and a knuck dap to all the Patreon subscribers who are subscribed to the show and supporting for only $1 a month. If you want to subscribe and support the show, head on over patreon.com/Ian vs. Daddybones, and it's only $1 a month, $12 annually. We truly appreciate your support. We would also appreciate it if you head on over to the YouTube channel, Ian vs. Daddybones. Click the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and smash that fucking like. All it takes is 3 seconds, and we greatly, truly appreciate it. But today, we're going to be building this badass motherfucker right here that I am going to be referring to because it has a really long name, but it is the Mattel Mega Masters of the Universe 40th Anniversary Castle Grayskull Transformation playset. This is going to be, when I'm done with it, this is going to be the front facade of Castle Grayskull, and it's going to have HeMan transforming from PrinceAdam to HeMan right there on the bridge of Castle fucking Grayskull. Now, this thing came out, and it was available at the 2022 San Diego Comic-Con last summer, but it was also available for purchase off Mattel Creations, and I was able to grab one before it sold out, and honestly, this thing has been sitting in my house for months, and I've really been looking forward to opening this on the show, and what better way to end the year by putting it together right here on the show. And I'm also going to spend some time later in the show talking about this little guy right here. This is a Mattel Creations Masters of the Universe CamoCon that arrived in the mail sometime before Christmas. But like I said, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope your holidays were very dope. Mine were a little frustrating and a little down in the dumps. Basically, since Thanksgiving, when we were doing the Evil Horde episode and the unboxing of Grizzlor, basically my furnace started acting up around Thanksgiving, and we got the furnace back on track where it was working for a couple of weeks before it shit the bed again, and we had the furnace looked at, and we had it narrowed down to an inducer that needed to be replaced, so I had to order furnace parts. But then once we got the inducer replaced, we found out it's something else that's causing an issue, and it's just been a clusterfuck and a pain in the ass with my furnace being on the fritz for like the past 2 weeks, and with everything going into the holiday season, especially with like shopping for the kids and getting Christmas presents and bringing my granddaughter into the equation and getting everybody taken care of, everything seemed to be off and delayed by a week this year. So it just seemed like once we were on track, the following week it was like, oh my god, we're totally not prepared for this, even though we fucking tried, and oh my god, the furnace is on the fritz again. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of been in my head emotionally the past couple of days, because as of right now, it's the day after Christmas. But on December 21st, my wife celebrated her birthday. My wife turned 43 years old, so happy, wonderful, amazing birthday to my beautiful wife, Amber. But unfortunately, the day after her birthday, my wife was involved in a car accident, and while it was a bad car accident, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. And there was a good chance that if it was any worse, I could have possibly lost my wife a couple of days ago before Christmas. So honestly, on my end of things, my mind's been completely fucked about that, because that night when she came home and, you know, we went to bed and shit, like, I didn't sleep well that night. I kept, like, waking up every hour and just looking over at my wife, making sure she was there and everything was okay and shit. So, between the furnace and my wife having a car accident and everything feeling like it was delayed for an hour, I mean, not an hour, everything was, like, delayed by a week or whatever, it just kind of threw a wrench in the holiday planning, but at the same time, we're all alive, we were all together, so it was a great day. And you know, like I read on the internet, it's about presence, not presence. And I totally get that, but at the same time, I kind of wish Buddy Misters and Buddy Sisters were able to open their shit yesterday instead of having to order it a couple of days ago. So we're going to be celebrating Christmas next week once the kids get their shit in the mail. And, you know, I got Buddy Misters and Dandy Manners on the other side of the camera right now, both giving me a thumbs up. So, you know, I know they're not holding it against us this holiday season, but, you know, at the end of that, hey, we paid our fucking house off this year. And that's the biggest thing that Amber and I were able to do this holiday season. I made my last fucking mortgage payment on my house, and I honestly feel like I accomplished a huge goal with that shit, and I'm very proud of me and my wife, like, leveling up to that and being able to accomplish that, because now we could focus on other shit involving the house moving forward instead of having to worry about, you know, mortgage issues and other shit like that. But back to the show. That's basically my holiday rant. And again, when it comes to, like, talking about my wife being in the accident and whatnot, like, it kind of fucked with me on one end with the social media aspect, because it's like, we're doing this show together as a unit, we're putting out this content, you know, we're trying to get this project off the feet. And for all the Patreon subscribers, like 1,000 I love yous and 1,000 I thank yous for your support and helping us build the brand. But it's one of those type of things where it's like, you see something bad happen in the news and people are like giving out thoughts and prayers and shit. And there's just like, is there real sympathy or fake sympathy? What's the over-under on the shit? And basically what I'm getting at is, it's like, we appreciate the support and the sympathy, but it's like, I would rather have the subscribers. I would rather have the people believing in me and helping me build the brand, because it's like, it is a little disappointing when you're able to get 75 likes on this type of media post, but when I'm sharing a post about a Patreon, it's like everybody's got on their sunglasses and their walking canes and shit, and it's like, you know, it's one of those disappointing things where there's like 20 people I personally know that during this holiday season could have easily subscribed to the show for $1. And that's the disappointing thing about it. But it's like, I post that my wife could have died in a car accident, and it's like everybody's jumping on the thoughts and prayers and whatnot. But it's like, where are you guys on the daily when we're posting shit about trying to build the brand and level up and take this to the next level? So, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, I've had people kind of like jump on my ass about making that post the other day, but it's like, dude, you're proving the point of what I'm saying. You're giving me more shit about what I'm posting on social media instead of supporting and helping build the brand. Like, don't jump on my ass about a meme. Just click the share button and spread the word. That's it. That's all I really need. If you believe in the show, if you're entertained with the content, smash that like button, smash that share button, subscribe to the show, because I'm seriously trying to finger bang that algorithm and take the show to the next level and level the fuck up. And that's one thing with the new year, new me bullshit next year. I'm totally taking the show to the next fucking level, because I'm very inspired, and there's a small group of people that are building a lot of content right now, and to some degree I'm a part of that. And I really hope to see them all level up and take it to that next level and really get that bag next year and help build your brands. And that's what it's all about. You know, it's not like me with the Original Geeks podcast doing it all by myself. This time I got people that I can trust and depend on that are helping me all around, taking this to the next level and help leveling it up. And at the same time, it's given my son the opportunity to learn how to shoot, film, and even take it to the next level of editing and mixing and whatnot. So, you know, Buddy Misters has plans for this show and whatnot. But getting started overall, enough with the ranting and the disappointing bullshit. Basically, and let's start by opening this up, because this is going to be a long show. And Buddy Misters, so without saying anything, all you need to do is give me like little hand cues when I'm getting down to where we need to pause and reset whatever on the camera. We'll get there when we get there. But overall, we got the box. And now looking at the box, if you open it up, you got the outside of Castle Grayskull, and obviously right here in the middle, we're missing the face of Castle Grayskull, and that's what we're actually building today to put in here. Now, this is not the full Mega Castle Grayskull itself. The Mega Constructs Mega Block. I mean, it's its own history in itself. You had like Mega Blocks in Canada, and Mattel had, you had Mega Blocks in Canada, and Mattel had Constructs, and then at some point Mattel wound up getting Mega Blocks, so it went from like Mega Blocks and Constructs to like Mega Constructs, and now it's just Mega. So Mattel has its building block that has a name of 4 letters, just like another popular building block that also has a brand name of 4 letters. So, right, so like I said, you got your Castle Grayskull front facade. It looks pretty dope. So we'll close that up right now and set that to the side. Let's open up our box. That's another thing too. I'm like thinking about going into next year. I'm thinking about reevaluating the Patreon. Oh shit, there's a bunch of bags here. That's all it is. It's a bunch of fucking bags. Oh, look at that. I got my little figures. I got my little HeMan and PrinceAdam. That's cool. Alright, we'll set that to the side. We got our bags here. Got bag number 6. Got bag number 4. Let's see here. Got bag number 5. Bag number 2. A lot of parts. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 4, 5. All right. Look at 4, 5, and 6 on the floor right there. We got 1, 2, and 3 over here. Alright. Now, without opening this back up, because I did see this earlier, inside this box, against the back wall, is the actual booklet, instruction booklet manual for what we are building. Now, holy shit. This book is 81 pages. So yeah, it looks like this is going to be a lengthy fucking episode. So starting off, we got our HeMan and PrinceAdam. It's telling us to start off with, and then we're going to be jumping to bag number 2. So let's get bag 1 and bag 2. So, bag number 1, we're going to open up. It's our HeMan and PrinceAdam Mega Construct figures. Now, I gotta say, I am completely new to everything with these Mega Blocks. Like, I grew up with Lego. I'm very familiar with Lego. I've played with Lego. But Mega is completely different, and it's completely new to me, and I've not really messed with these as an adult. Like, I mean, I played with Mega Blocks as a kid. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you had name brand cereal, and you had like dollar store cereal. Like Mega Blocks were always like bootleg knockoff, not Legos. You know what I mean? It's like if you were a popular kid in school, you had Legos, but if you were whack, you had Mega Blocks. So we got our little He-Man, and we got our little Mega PrinceAdam, and that's the thing. Looking into my January to February of 2022. How did I start off the year? Well, to start off, how I started 2022, I got to take it back. I got to run it back to 2021. And basically, in February of 2021, like literally a couple of days before Valentine's Day, friend of mine and professional wrestler, Hybrid Sean Carr, who is worth the @follow wherever you can follow him on social media. Dude is talented as fuck. He is your 2016 ECWA Super 8 winner. He is a former ECWA World Heavyweight Champion. He's had an appearance on AEW AEW Dark, and he's a very talented wrestler, and you should definitely check him out. Well, anyway, Sean Carr, there they are. Look at him, a little He-Man and fucking PrinceAdam. They look dope. Basically, Sean Carr came over to my house and he gave me a weight bar and some vinyl plates. Because in January of 2021, for my kids' Christmas, I built a basement gym with like the puzzle mats for the floor, and I got a weight bench and a heavy bag and some dumbbells and some extra weights and whatnot. So, you know, my son and I could start working out together because I was getting him boxing lessons at the time. So, we got the basement gym all built, and Sean Carr gave me the weight bar and gave me some vinyl plates for it. So it was February of 2021 that I started working out every day, and it just started off with me like just doing bench presses and dumbbell curls and like overhead lifts and shit, and hammer curls, as V Sinister tells me they're called. And so I just started working out and just started, just trying to be more healthy, trying to do something during this pandemic and shit where we're, stuck in the houses and whatnot, and trying to return to normalcy. And I'm remote learning my kids and shit, and my kids getting boxing lessons, and I'm trying to motivate my son, to get off his ass and put the controller down and come downstairs and work out and start getting on a rhythm and a routine with me. But at the end of the day, it didn't really work out. Owen really wasn't that interested in it, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? I hope he gets into it with me more someday. But either way, at the end of the day, I stuck with the shit. I kept working out with it, and I started really enjoying it. Like, especially for like, stress relief and shit. It was a really good way to burn steam, and I was like feeling really good about it. So it's like, at this time last year, well, actually, I got to rewind even back to where I was talking about, when Sean gave me the weight set. Like, from like February of 2021, started working out daily, then it became working out twice a day, and now I'm to the point to where I'm working out twice a day, every day. I'm not taking days off, and I'm just sticking with it. I'm not overdoing with it. I'm getting myself into a routine where it's just constant repetition. And so I was sticking with the working out and whatnot. And then over the course of February, March, April, May, by the time we got to June, my buddy Pete Briggs and I were in communication with each other always. Like, he's my best friend. And Pete lived in Myrtle Beach. And he was telling me about getting excited about Myrtle Beach opening the beaches back up and shit, so people could go out in the water and stuff, and not be confined, and somewhat have a normal life. So in like June of 2021, Pete was telling me about how he was able to go out into the water on boats with his buddies and go deep sea diving and fishing, and they were hunting grouper and fucking, it's like, let me open this bag. They were hunting grouper and shit and all sorts of like other fish, and it's like, he was just keeping me in the loop about all that, and by keeping me in the loop about it, we were like making plans, because he's got family that lives in Vermont, so Pete was gonna come up in town, and he was gonna pass through town to go see his family in Vermont, and we were gonna get together for lunch and have our sons meet each other. And it's like fucking literally, like, it was like the day after Natalia's birthday last year. I go to work, and when I go to work, I'm working, and then I got a moment where I check my Facebook and checking my Facebook and shit, and it's like I see my friend Niz and his wife make a Facebook post. Now Niz is Pete's brother, and they make a post, and it's a picture of Pete and Niz together, and the caption said "Forever in our hearts." So just like reading that caption, I knew somebody died. But I'm looking at the picture of Pete and his brother, and I'm not fucking putting two and two together. Like, wait, what happened? Wait, what? What's going on right now? And I see this, and I see the picture. And I honestly feel really bad looking back on it, because at first I thought it had to be Niz. It couldn't have been Pete. You know what I mean? And I feel really bad for thinking that. But it wasn't like anything personal by any means. It's just one of those, wait a minute, what the fuck am I looking at? It's like looking at a magic eye, trying to look for the sailboat. I'm not fucking seeing it. So I'm looking at this picture of two of my boys, and it's just hitting me that one of them's dead, but I don't know who it is. And then I messaged them, and I'm like, wait, what happened? And that's when I got informed that Pete suffered a heart attack the day before, when he was scuba diving with his friends. He was deep sea diving with his friends, and he was underwater, and Pete went into cardiac arrest, and by the time they pulled him in the water, pulled him to the surface, he was fucking gone. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That was my best friend. That was best man at my wedding. Pete was one of those guys that always believed in me. And I met Pete literally 2 weeks before my daughter Julia had her first birthday. And it's just one of those things where I was between jobs, and Pete was working at a factory because he just got home from the army, and we just happened to meet each other at the right time, and it's like from the minute we met each other, we were like instant boys, and everywhere, every day was like the Pete and Ian show. It was fucking great, and and getting to know this guy. I found out, like, when he was in the army, he was in a band called Spicy Placenta. They had an edgy, creative army band name. And as I'm building these, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to talk and fucking build, because that way I'm not going to, like, burst into tears or some shit, even though I probably am. But basically, I found out Pete was in a band, and they were called Spicy Placenta. And I thought that was interesting and whatnot, and so Pete would always play guitar and shit, and we'd get together, we'd hang out, and we'd drink beers and shit, and Pete would play his guitar, and he'd have his songbook of like all these songs he wrote, and melodies and rhythms that just stuff he wrote while he was in the army that he kept in a journal, and it was like seeing him playing guitar and, hearing his stories about his life and whatnot, we just really bonded. Overall, he was a really good person. And, from hanging out and whatnot. You know, eventually I got a job working at an insurance company, and it was a really good job. And once I got hired at that job, you know what I mean, I held that job for 8.5 years, and I was able to earn a pension before the time I was 30. By the time, you know, I was done working at that place, and I'm really proud of that insurance company I was working at. But it's like, I'm working at the insurance company. I'm paying child support on Julia. Life is good. Everything's good. I got a job. I'm being responsible. And Pete was working, and basically Pete and I decided to start making music together. And the funny thing about Pete and I making music together is, I'm going to be friggin' honest, I am like not musically talented whatsoever. You know what I mean? So it's like the only thing I was ever really good at was like writing rhymes. Alright, I mean, I always enjoyed hip hop and rap. You know what I mean? I always liked the 80s style hip hop and rap, and 90s style hip hop. You know, I've always been a fan of like LL Cool J, and you know, I was Beastie Boys and Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. You know what I mean? That was rap music I really enjoyed as a kid. And then, because it was like night and day. It's like one year everything was like radio friendly hip hop, and then all of a sudden it's like Two Live Crew and NWA, and now there's a parental advisory sticker everywhere. So it was like you had 80s rap, and then you had the dawn of 90s hip hop, and you know, you got so many legendary artists and MCs over the years, and you know, I really don't need to discuss it much, but it's just like, I liked what I liked back in the day, and when I was in the Air Force after high school, like I really got into Insane Clown Posse and everything they seem to be putting out music wise. I really liked the dark carnival aspect and the storytelling of their rhymes. So it's like I really fell into that Juggalo scene, and that's what I was thinking about. That was my influence, along with that, you know, Beastie Boys style. I'll say this and you say that, then I'll say this and you say that. I always loved the like bouncing back and forth, you know, Kid and Play style high five rap, you know, to me, you know, I've always liked creative punchlines and bars and shit rather than like the same old shit. You know what I mean? Like, Dad wasn't around, Mom was always working, there was nobody home, I sold drugs, I got arrested, fuck the cops, now I'm out, I can't get a job, back in jail, now I'm out, back in jail, free so-and-so, back in jail. Some of the friggin', you know what I mean? Some of it's just like so cookie cutter that like some of the bars just like, it's like the same old shit. I like unique creative shit, which is like with today's music. I just don't really care for that fucking mumble rap shit. It's like ridiculous. But, you know, that looking back on it though, like Pete and I just had fun with everything. And that's the thing. Like, we started making music together. And I had a program on my PlayStation called the MTV Music Generator, which was a music creation program on a video game console. Like, I was blown away with the fact that you can make beats on a PlayStation, and with what you were able to do with this disc and the content it provided, it was just absolutely epic and amazing. But that's the thing. Like, I started making beats. I started making beats on that music generator. Me and Pete started going to, you know, we just went to work and came home, and then, you know, we'd meet up at the bar and fucking, you know, we'd be at like Fitzy's or Nips in Binghamton, New York, and we'd just, you know, be writing rhymes and just enjoying life and just, you know what I mean, not causing trouble or any drama or bullshit, just doing our thing. And you know, that's what I miss. I'm gonna miss the most. Like, and that's, you know, just I don't know, I'm rambling, but basically, Pete and I had formed a rap group called Twin Widow Mafia. And the whole point of Twin Widow Mafia was, it was always us just clowning, goofing off, having fun, after work, you know what I mean? In the living room, usually at his house, or in the basement, just listening to beats, tweaking beats, writing rhymes, performing, practicing rhymes, you know what I mean? You know, a couple of bars turns into a rap flow, and then it's like, you know, I'll spit 16, you spit 16, then we come up with a hook, and then just, you know, come up with different things and whatnot. Just having fun with it, and that's just what it was all about to me. And you know, I'm gonna miss that shit, because we're never gonna make music again, and that's the thing. It's just looking back, it's been years. Like I'm talking, like Pete and I were making music back in 2002, and it was like a 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005 thing. Amber and I got married in 2005. I'm not finding this piece of brick. I'm getting like irritated as I'm talking, because I'm like looking for this piece of brick that I oh, I guess it's in here. Alright. Because this didn't come in 2 bags. I don't know. I'm just rambling about the Pete thing, but basically, Peter Briggs lost his life, had a heart attack. He was deep sea diving. He was my best friend. We were in a rap group together. He basically moved to Myrtle Beach at the same time that Amber and I got married, because Pete already moved to Myrtle Beach, but he came back to Binghamton in time for our wedding to be my best man. And then after the wedding, Pete would go back to Myrtle Beach. And you know, I would see him when I see him, and that's basically how it was, and how it became. Like I saw him like whenever he came up to Binghamton. It was like, could have been like once a year, maybe once every 2 years. I just know that the year after Amber and I got married, I actually flew down to Myrtle Beach to stay with Pete for a week, and we actually got booked and did a couple shows down in Myrtle Beach, and that was a lot of fun. Twin Widow Mafia didn't perform a lot, but we did perform a couple of times live at the Downtown Quarterback in Endicott, and we performed at the Barrel in Myrtle Beach, and you know, that was a lot of fun, and those are memories that I'm gonna really cherish, because at the end of the day, like I fucked around making music, and I had fun with it, but at the end of the day, it was never a career thing for me. You know what I mean? I never wanted to get signed to a rap label. It was never about that. It was just hanging out with my buddy, making music, and never in my life have I been clowned so hard about doing something by other people that make music. And it's like, I got people that are so serious about what they're doing, and I know a lot of talented people that make music. I know a lot of talented people that should be signed. It's just me personally, I don't know exactly how the record industry works today, because it seems like people are only getting signed to like small deals, and they're not signing people anymore like they were in 1995 or 1996. So I don't exactly understand that dynamic of it, but it's just, you know, it was never about that with Pete. It was always about just having fun. We'll go to work, we'll hang out when we get out, I'll see you later, I'll see you tomorrow, you know what I mean? It was always that type of like friendship. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just really fucking miss the guy, and it sucks, because I know there's a lot of people this year that lost people, and I got a lot of friends that are suffering over people they lost this year, and it's just, I don't know, part of my motivation for everything I've been doing this year has been because I know Pete's always believed in me, and I know Pete's always been proud, and you know, Pete's always been there ever since, like, with all of my kids being born. Like, he's always been there, and you know, he always kept in touch, and I'm really gonna miss him. But yeah, but basically after Pete died, I tried to handle it the best I can by not going dark. You know what I mean? It's not like I was gonna start shooting heroin or anything. 'Cause that's not my. I don't fuck with that. So it wasn't like that was gonna be a choice. But I don't know. I tried handling it the best I can by focusing on working out more, but at the same time, a lot of my depression with losing Pete was usually at nighttime. Whenever, you know, Amber and the kids went to sleep, it would give me an opportunity to go down in the basement, work out, but at the same time, by working out and being in the basement, I also I also was alone and by myself. So by being alone and by myself, you know, I was honestly drinking more than I probably should, but basically I was drinking at night. I was drinking by myself. I wasn't like drinking around my kids. Or usually if I was drinking around my kids, it was usually when my kids would come down at night or something and you know, say, "Hey Dad, what's up?" or whatnot in the basement, just pay me a visit and shit. And it's just, I don't know. I don't feel like I became an alcoholic. And I know some people will say that, and some people will say, well, that's a sign you're an alcoholic. It's denial. I mean, the reality is I was spending $3 to $5 a day. I was literally spending the amount of one full price drink at a bar by getting 2 cans of Keystone, or as I was watching Cobra Kai, I would pull the Johnny Lawrence and get the 2 yellow cans of Coors. So I'd basically be pounding the 2 cans of beer down in the basement while I was fucking around with the DJ gear, and while I was working out at night. But at the same time, it was kind of Harry Potter versus Voldemort. It was like working out, but I was being counterproductive, and I was actually putting on weight rather than losing weight. Not that I was trying to lose weight. It's just, I know nothing about fitness. My self-esteem was at an all-time low when I was in high school and shit, because I always had jocks and alpha football dickheads always giving people a hard time when they walked into the gym and shit. You know what I mean? That whole, "Hey pussy, why even bother showing up" type shit. So it's like, you deal with that a little while and you're like, you know what, fuck the gym. I really don't give a shit about this. I'm good. I don't need to work out in high school and whatnot. And that's the thing. I was never really much of a fitness guy. And but that's the thing. Like, it's just, life changes, shit happens. Like, you're getting your kid boxing lessons and you're trying to give your kid an opportunity to get in shape and whatnot and take care of himself. And I'm not saying he's not, don't worry, I'm not bashing my son or anything. It's just, I really put in the time, I really put in the money, I really put in the effort to like try and provide this for them. And you know, and at the end of the day, and it's no offense on them, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that really spends the most amount of time using the basement gym, and that's okay, because I'm having fun with it, and it's been helping me out a lot, because basically from the time Pete died up until holiday time last year, I was working out. I mean, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 10 months working out by this time last year. But I mean, if anything, I was more used to the rhythm and the routine of what I was doing with how I was working out, and that was working for me. It's just the drinking wasn't doing anything for me, and you know, I knew I had to change something, because I really wasn't liking what it was doing. So I made the decision. I mean, I was mulling the decision towards the end of the year, and even on New Year's Day, it was like I had the last of what I had in the house, drink the last of what I had on New Year's Day, but it was basically January 3rd. I went cold turkey on the alcohol and just stopped drinking completely. And, you know, I mean, everybody has their reasons for not drinking. And my reason was I need to handle this better. And that's what I did. I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking in January, and I haven't had a drop of alcohol all year. And even going back to May, I decided to take it up a notch by cutting out soda, coffee, energy drinks like traditional canned Monster, Red Bull, you know, Bang, anything that I was just consuming that was just becoming too much. And I just cut it out. And that's all I've been doing is focusing on the workouts and sticking with that shit. And so that's basically how I've been handling the death of my best friend. And like I said, I know a lot of people this year lost important people around them. I know people that lost their daughters. I know people that lost their mothers. I know people that lost their husbands. I know wrestlers who lost a brother. I know rappers who are hurting right now because they lost one of their best friends and a really talented MC. So I know this year has been extremely fucked for a lot of people. And that's all you can try and do is be positive and shit, you know? And I mean, that's basically why I stopped doing what I was doing. And it's not that I was like turning into an asshole. It's not like I was being violent. It's not like I was trying to fight my wife. It's not like I was trying to fight my kids. I just got into a repetitive routine of night drinking alone in the basement by myself, listening to music, working out, crying, and collecting Masters of the Universe toys. And that's, you know, I needed to make life changes, and that's fucking here we are. I'm literally like a week and a half away from celebrating my first year of not drinking. And since I'm on the topic of celebrating a year of not drinking, I also want to give a special shout out. And I love you. And I'm very proud of you, IB Green, for your 1 year sobriety. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because he wasn't the only one that was cutting it out this year. And I got to say, IB Green's dedication to changing himself honestly helped inspire me to do the same thing. And I'm very proud of both of us. I let Buddy Misters take a break real quick because I figured I was I'm trying to do this live build, and I'm trying to tell the story of the past year, and I'm getting a little sidetracked as I'm trying to tell the story and then focus on these freaking instructions and shit. So I jumped ahead a little bit and finished some steps. So now I'm on page 9. And basically right now I'm building the foundation. I got a little mechanism and some spinning wheels and gears. So I'm constructing the foundation and the underneath of the drawbridge mechanism. I know that. But like I said, basically when it comes to the toy collecting aspect of it and how it affected my 2022, basically by the end of 2021 I was already able to obtain everything that I was able to find in stores when it came to the Origins line. Like I had Wave 1, because, rewind real quick, when Sean Carr gave me the lifting bar and the vinyl plates, that was February of 2021. It was January of 2021 when I was at Walmart getting the puzzle floor mats and whatnot that I first saw that there was HeMan and Skeletor available for purchase on the store shelves. So that's when it was brought to my attention that Masters of the Universe is back, and I was totally geeked all about it, and fucking here we are with that. So basically, January of 2021, January of 2021 was when I bought my He-Man and Skeletor, and when I got the He-Man and Skeletor, that's when I found out that they also had Man-at-Arms, Teela, Evil Lyn, and Beastman available for that Wave 1 of Masters of the Universe, with this line that I was learning was being called Masters of the Universe Origins, to differentiate the vintage line, even though the articulation alone is a big enough difference between these two lines. So I found out that Masters of the Universe Origins was a thing, got my He-Man and Skeletor, was able to track down Man-at-Arms, Teela, Beastman, Evil Lyn. So I had Wave 1 completed. I was able to get Battle Cat. And then it came time to trying to find out and searching on the internet who's going to be in Wave 2. And then I found out it was like Orko, Manny-Faces, Trapjaw, and Scareglow. So it was like I'm on a mission to find these 4 figures. And from doing searches on Amazon and eBay and, Walmart and Target, I wasn't seeing these figures anywhere. And it was really kind of frustrating, because no matter where I was looking, I wasn't seeing any of these figures in stock. And long story short, what I found out over the course of time was the Wave 2 and 3, and to a degree the Wave 4 figures never got officially released in the United States. They only got released internationally, and with them getting released internationally, they weren't available in the United States. So you couldn't just walk into a store and buy them, and if you were looking for them online, like, people were charging outrageous amounts of money. Like, people were charging like $75 for a Scareglow or $100 for a Trapjaw. And it really became frustrating when you're like trying to collect these and you can't find them. And it's weird because it's like, I can't find any Waves 2, 3, and 4, but I was able to collect Wave 1 no problem. But now Wave 5, 6, and 7 showed up in stores. So this time last year, Wave 6 and Wave 7, Masters of the Universe Origins, were the figures that showed up in stores. And like Jitsu and Naked Stratos, which is the one figure that's been irritating a lot of people this year. The fact that Naked Stratos is always available on a peg, but nobody else is there. But why the hell was Naked Stratos that important to get out in stores so fast? So, Naked Stratos has been warming the pegs for the past year, and you also have other characters that have been warming the pegs. So when I ended 2021, I was all caught up as far as the Origins went with Wave 6 and 7, and I was slowly trying to figure out, well, how am I going to get the Wave 2 and 3 characters? So that was one of my goals going into this year. And that's where, like, the internet is absolutely amazing, because thanks for the internet, and thanks to other professional wrestlers having their own YouTube channels and shit, I was able to, I was watching other channels and shows, like the Major Wrestling Figures podcast. I also have been watching Ethan Page's podcasts and toy hunts, and that's basically what this is getting to, because I was watching a video last year where Ethan Page and the wrestler Danhausen they went to a they went to a toy store while they were in Minnesota for a wrestling show, and the name of the store they went to is called Hot Comics Toys and Collectibles. Now, I decided after watching that episode of Ethan Page's show, because while I was watching that episode, I noticed that Hot Comics Toys and Collectibles had an amazing selection of Masters of the Universe Origins stuff on their pegs, on their shelves, on their walls, in their store, and it was absolutely fucking awesome. And I did see some stuff that I did not have. So, using Google, I decided to go online, and I decided to go online and check out Hot Comics Toys and Collectibles. They didn't really have a website, but I mean they had social. They have a social media presence, but I basically went to Google, searched the name of the store, found their phone number, found their address, where they're located, decided to give them a call, and I spoke to a couple of guys there, and I basically flat out told them, "Hi, I live in New York. I saw your show on a YouTube channel," and the guy immediately cut me off and was like, "It was Ethan Page, wasn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it totally was." So basically, I told him, "All right, I saw on the Ethan Page and Danhausen video that you guys had a lot of Masters of the Universe Origins stuff, and that's the line I'm currently collecting. I'm currently looking for Wave 2, 3, and 4 figures." And I gave him a list of figures that I'm looking for. I'm looking for Scareglow. I'm looking for Trapjaw. I'm looking for Roboto. I'm looking for She-Ra. I'm looking for Grey Stratos. I'm looking for Ninjor. You know what I mean? I gave him a list of the final 8 characters that I was trying to hunt down at the time. So basically, he's like, "I got good news and I got bad news." And I'm like, "Okay, what's the good news?" And he said, "The good news is I have all the figures you're looking for." And I'm like, "Okay, what's the bad news?" Bad news is, unfortunately, I don't have them mint on card, and I only have them loose. You actually happen to be in luck, because we just bought somebody's collection like 2 weeks ago, so we have all those figures loose. So basically, Hot Comics Toys and Collectibles was able to help me find the missing Wave 2, 3, and 4 characters I was looking for to get caught up in current with Masters of the Universe Origins. And honestly, I remember tracking those. I remember contacting them, and basically they were working with me. We basically turned it into like 3 purchases where I was paying for like certain figures a week until I got the 3 invoices taken care of, and then they shipped everything out to me. So through January to February is when I decided to quit drinking. I was hunting for Waves 2, 3, and 4. And at that point, I was all caught up waiting for Wave 8 of Masters of the Universe Origins, which was the Clawful, Anti-Eternia, He-Man, Sunman, and the Horde Trooper wave. That was going to be the next batch of figures that was going to hit stores. So, but they weren't scheduled to be released until second quarter 2022. So then when the February, March, and April aspect of the year, basically, by the time we got to there, I was still waiting for news about Wave 8's release date, when it's going to hit stores, and honestly, I was so caught up on Masters of the Universe Origins at the time that I was getting bored, because I was having so much fun going on like weekly toy hunts with the kids, like taking Owen and Natalia to Target and whatnot, and Walmart, and like looking for stuff, and like even when we were going to local stores, because I found out there was a local store called Maximus Toys and Collectibles that has since went out of business, and I had no idea. It's weird. Like I showed up there one night, made a purchase, Couple weeks later, went to stop by the store. They were closed, and I'm like, okay. And then I went back during the day, and their doors were closed when their sign said that they should be open for business right now. And then the next time I went to Maximus Toys and Collectibles, they were completely shut down and gone. So that's basically where I was. Like I was all caught up on Origins, and honestly, I had no interest in collecting Masterverse in the beginning because I wasn't trying to drive my wife crazy with this, and I didn't want to go overboard with it. So I was just focusing on Origins, but then it got to the point to where I was seeing the Masterverse figures on sale. So I started jumping on the Masterverse line only when I saw the figures on sale. So when I'm seeing like a $20 figure on sale for $11, or even I'm seeing a figure that was $20 on clearance for $8, and it's one of the figures I need, I'm going to jump all over that shit. So that's basically how I also wound up, how I started collecting Masterverse this year, was just because they were on sale, and I was waiting for Wave 8 to drop with Origins, and also too, while I was waiting for more information about Wave 8 to drop, information about Wave 9 started getting released, and so not only was I getting excited for Wave 8, but now Wave 9 was going to get released. So it's just so much part of the fun with collecting these things, because it's like just when you think you're caught up, they make an announcement and they're like, yeah, we got 8 more figures coming out this year, and get ready for these next 2 waves. And it's always exciting, it's always a lot of fun, and I just have been having a blast with it, and it's great because with it being He-Man, it's already one of my favorite things in life, and one of my favorite toy lines and 80s toy brands. I get to share it with my kids, my love and enjoyment of it. I get to introduce it to them, and for the most part, my kids haven't told me that they thought it sucked. So at least I got that going, where they somewhat think it's cool. But that's the thing. I started collecting the Masterverse figures between April and May. Started buying them when look at that. Yeah, I'm getting there on these first 2 bags. Here's where I'm at so far. I got the foundation set up and the basic gear mechanism for the drawbridge. But I was basically just started collecting Masterverse figures while waiting for the new Origins to drop. And then while it was around the time of Owen's birthday that I fully understood how Mattel Creations works, because I joined Facebook groups for Masters of the Universe collectors and other toy groups and stuff. So I started noticing a lot of the collectors started making posts about stuff that was coming out on Mattel Creations. Like for example, Sunman came out this year, but Sunman got a Mattel Creations release where he came in a brown box just like this, but Sunman's card art was the original Rulers of the Sun packaging that his figure came out on in the 80s. Now you get an updated version of that you were able to order through Mattel Creations, and I was completely new to the whole how Mattel Creations works, and I missed out on Sunman. I missed out on the carded She-Ra, but by the time Koldar was getting ready to drop in May, I was already signed up to Mattel Creations, and I was already ready for Koldar to drop. So I was able to get Koldar this year. So my first Mattel Creations attempt was successful, and that's the thing. I'm new to Mattel Creations this year, and with me being new to Mattel Creations, it's been a lot of fun, because I not only was I able to get a Koldar, but I was able to kind of figure out how Mattel Creations works when it comes time for a figure to drop. And I'm not going to reveal the method that I use because it works for me every time, and that's going to be my little secret. But I've definitely been having a blast being successful at getting these Masters of the Universe Mattel Creations exclusives. Like I got, like this year, I was able to get Koldar. I was able to get Grizzlor. I missed out on Wondar initially, but I was able to jump on the second chance made-to-order version of Wondar, which basically means I ordered him, but he's going to get shipped in July of 2023, so I got some time before he ships out. So, you know, between Origins and between Masterverse, it really kept me busy in the winter and the spring, which was great because we were also dealing with car issues and whatnot, and the car was getting taken care of. So with everything I got to handle as far as responsibility and bills, like this is the downtime, and it's just been a lot of fun, especially taking the kids to like Target and Walmart and other stores, like being excited on the journey, and then we get to the store and it's like, son of a bitch, they don't got anything new. And then when they do have new stuff, I'm in a position where it's like, fuck, I got this bill to do this week, I can't jump on it. So it's all part of the hunt, it's all part of the game, it's all part of the sale prices, and that's what's been making it a lot of fun. But basically, by the time June came and gone, and we were into the summer, you know, I was for my birthday, I was able. That's when I started pre-ordering the Masters of the Universe stuff, because I found out about what sites I can pre-order figures at. So I started getting it into a nice routine and a rhythm of my collecting and my hunting, and it's been a real fucking blast. And fucking everything I've been doing this year has led to, you know, the launch of Ian versus Daddybones. And with that said, I'm gonna take a quick little break so I can focus on this.